We are currently experiencing a food shortage crisis in the United States, and this comes as no surprise. Multiple times over the past 2 years, the shelves in our local Walmarts, Kroger's, King Supers, Publix have been wiped clean of the essentials and daily food necessities. At one point in time, you couldn't even buy toilet paper. Now, we're seeing things like chicken, milk, either be cleared off of the shelves or the prices are skyrocketing as demand increases because supply can't keep up with it. What are we supposed to feed ourselves during this food crisis? When we think about this, we usually only think about what we feed ourselves through our mouths, which enter our stomachs. And while there are different diets and nutritional plans that people prescribe to, I want to look at this from a different perspective. What are we feeding this thing right here? Because you are what you eat. What's good, all my conscious creators, curators, and cultivators? Today I want to talk to you just about that. What are you feeding your mind? If we are what we eat, and we're not conscious of the things that we're feeding our mind, what happens after that? Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. You don't want to miss out on this one. Let's get it. Growing up, the cliche of you are what you eat was something that was big, especially because me, Barry B, used to be a big fella. I was super out of shape. When I was in 5th grade, I weighed over 200 pounds. I had high blood pressure at the age of 11. And because of how physically big I was, I got made fun of a lot. Now, I'm not here to body shame anybody, but I was what I ate. My daily diet consisted of at least 4 McDoubles, 2 medium fries, and a large sweet tea from McDonald's. So I became just that. I was a big, processed, unhealthy young fella. But as I got older, the concept of you are what you eat started to click with me. And I was able to physically get my body in shape. And as I did this, I realized what we eat is not just through our mouth. Our mind is also eating as well. Coming to the understanding and the realization of this helped me begin to manifest the life that I desired. This was the key to me sculpting my body into exactly what I wanted it. I became more aware of what I fed my mind. In order to manifest the life of your dreams, you must do this. You must pay attention to what you are eating mentally. Back when I was out of shape, ask me how much I read, and I would ask you how much you blew. Because I didn't even care what reading was. Ask me what I used to watch on TV, and I could name a bunch of shows for you. And I could tell you how long each day I did. Ask me what type of music I listened to, and I can name every popular artist, underground artist, all of that. That's what I was consuming daily. And I don't bring this up to say that you can't consume these things. But just like with food, if you consume too much of something, you will become it. It'll become a cancer to you. It'll work against you. You are what you eat. Coming to the realization of this, I began to feed my mind the nutrients it needed to manifest. I began to expand its palette. I used to tell myself I didn't have time to read, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. But I'm here to tell you that that's an excuse. Because there's such thing as an audiobook now. You don't have to sit down to read anymore. Every day I dedicate at least 3 hours to reading via audiobook. And so I'm feeding my mind this. When I work out, I'm listening to an audiobook. When I'm driving, I'm listening to an audiobook. When I'm cooking, I'm listening to an audiobook. This is what works for me. I'm not saying it has to work for you, but I bring this up to show you I'm intentional about what I'm feeding my mind now because I understand it is what helped me to manifest the life that I desire. And unless you're able to understand this for yourself, you will be stuck. And I know there are so many people that feel that. They wonder why. Yo, I affirm every day. I affirm that I will be wealthy. I affirm that I will have this. I affirm that I will have that. But it's not coming to me. And so what I ask you is, Are you paying attention to what you're feeding yourself? There are people out there who experience bouts of depression and anxiety. And so I'll ask you, does the music that you listen to talk about depression? Talk about sadness? Talk about not fitting in? Because if it does, this is what you're feeding yourself. You are what you eat. Are you stuck in a cycle of violence? One that seems like it's never ending? What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you feeding your mind? Our mind is the most powerful tool that we have. But if we don't understand that it's a tool, it also can be the most challenging barrier to overcome. When you're intentional about what you feed your mind, you take control of it. And you're able to wield this tool with so much power. And I'm able to say this with conviction because this is what I do on a daily basis. I've watched it change my life. And I share this message with you today because I want you to be able to experience the same thing that I've experienced for myself. The life of my dreams coming to fruition. The power to manifest whatever it is I desire. If this is something that you want and something that you have struggled with, reach out to me. Send me a DM. I'm not a bot. This is my purpose, to impact as many people as I can and help them to become abundant and experience prosperity, peace, and joy in their lives. And if this message hit you on a higher level, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe. And as always, I appreciate all my conscious creators, curators, and cultivators for tuning in to another episode of Therapy with Barry B. Peace.